All right, so you've reached your sales goal. Now what? Is it all it's cracked up to be? Let's jump into that today. It's a new week, and I hope you're doing well. Excited to have you here. Thomas Joyner with Business on Purpose. So I've seen that, businesses earn $300,000 with an 80% margin, and I've seen $1 million businesses with a 3% margin. Now you tell me, which would you rather have? You see, we hear these massive sales numbers all the time, and owners exclaiming that they've arrived because they finally hit their sales goal. But that's never really how we at Business on Purpose measure success. 500,000, a million, 10 million, it really doesn't matter, because you can bring in all the money you've ever dreamed of, but if you're not really profitable, you run the risk of working for free and getting stuck answering to a business that will demand everything from you with no payoff in the end. Don't believe me? Well, let me tell you a little story. I was working with a business just a few months ago. We did it. We landed the contract. They came in just raving. Sales is going to increase by 50% next year by signing this whale to a long-term contract. Awesome. Amazing. So excited for you. Just out of curiosity, what's the margin that you priced in there? I kind of start asking them questions just to kind of get a little more information and just kind of double check and not regret it later. Well, we should be between 18 and 20%, depending on a few pieces of efficiency and if we have to buy any new equipment. That's awesome. Let's look at that. Let's just go into the details. So we start jumping into the numbers, and we realized quickly that everything's not as peachy as it seems. Well, we'll need to hire a new manager to manage the team, and the new team, we're going to need some subs, right? Because they're going to have to go and do some different little projects around, and we got to make sure that we can handle all this extra work. Well, the manager's going to need a truck. He's going to need a trailer, and insurance is going to go up because of all that, and gas and fuel, and our equipment isn't really geared to handle this scale of work, so we're going to need some bigger industrial size equipment, maybe 30 to 40 grand. I don't know about you, but that margin's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. We get all the way to the end, and you do your little accounting, press enter, and they just move forward. And had they moved forward without looking at the numbers, they would have lost 12% on the year. Now, maybe they could have survived it, right? Maybe they had enough in reserves to make it. And granted, some businesses start out knowing that they will lose money for a year or two, restaurants especially, a year or two of losing some money before they become profitable. But the difference is those businesses are prepared to take that hit. They have cash reserves to weather the storm, and when you're expecting an 18% margin and you lose 11 to 12%, that is a gut punch you are not ready for. So we started making some cuts. We went back to the kind of profit first, multiple bank accounts model and started building in another bank account for capital purchases. That way, we can pay cash for new equipment as it becomes available in the next few months. Once we ran the numbers again, we landed at a healthy 7 to 8% margin, which is really good for this kind of business. 7-8% margin for year one. We went back and looked at the manager's salary. We looked back at, can we structure some things different with subs and W-2s and all this stuff to figure out what makes the most sense. Guys, that is success. A lot of people can bring in sales. A lot of people can land that big deal because they undercut the prices so much that they have this razor thin margin. And they have no chance if and when something goes wrong. But that's no way to run a business. It's a huge reason we use the multiple bank accounts model, so that we can just kind of spy on our finances and make quick, informed decisions that will keep us profitable. It's way easier to course correct early on than to try to make up for poor decisions that we didn't realize the implications for early on. So, if you're honest with yourself, do you know your numbers? Have you sat down and truly checked to see what your margin is going to be? Or are you sitting here just bragging time after time after time about top-line revenue, thinking that it's just going to kind of magically figure itself out? We got plenty of money. Look at all the revenue we have coming in. If so, that's going to get you in a world of trouble down the road. Now, hear me say this. Top-line revenue 100% matters. Absolutely it matters, but not if the system, the foundation in place, isn't ready to handle all the work. So if you can do the work on the front end to make sure you can maintain that margin, that is how we at Business on Purpose measure success. You could have a $500,000 company that has a 50+ 3% margin or $1 million+ business that has a 2 to 3% margin? You tell me, do you want to spend all the time actually servicing all that work for such little reward? Or do you want to put the time in to build the business? This is the ugly side of business growth, right? We overextend ourselves and our entire team struggles. But had we thought through it and put in the work to build out a system that's able to handle more revenue, we can sit back. We can truly be proud of the business that we've built. One that's secure, it's one that's ready to handle anything and is structured to last a long, long time. Guys, I hope that makes sense today. I'd love to chat with you. If it does not, would love to be a part of your business growth, making sure that you know your numbers, that your margins are in a place that's healthy for your specific business and for your specific industry. Again, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and our podcast. Great content on there. You will not regret it. Thanks so much. Have a great week.